Hi there, welcome to High School Maths. Today we're going to be looking at rounding to the nearest 10, 100 and 1000. Quick recap of the key idea behind rounding, and it's in the yellow box here. If the number you're looking at, when you're looking at the rounding number, if it's 5 or higher, you round up, and if it's 4 or lower, you round down. Now the rounding number is going to be in a different place each time depending on what you're actually trying to round to. And we're going to look at that with three sets of examples we've got here. So we're going to start off with rounding to the nearest 10. Now remember, in each number, we'll do it over here. So if you've got a number like 3,847, you've got your ones or your units column, your tens, your hundreds, your thousands, and so on. What we're looking at with the first set of examples is rounding to the nearest 10. If we look at the first number, we've got our ones column here and our tens column here. And what we mean by rounding to the nearest 10 is, are we closer to 20 or are we closer to 30? If you think of your tens number, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you're looking to see which one you're closest to. Are you going to be closer, when you're at 27, are you going to be closer to 20 or 30? Now if we look at the number after the tens, which is the ones column, it's a 7, which means we should go up the way, we should round up. That means we go up the way to 30. And that makes sense because 27 is closer to 30 than it is to 20. So we would round that to 30. Here, we've got our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. Now remember, we're still looking to round to the nearest 10, which is this number here. That's our 60. Okay, so it's 360. Or 370 if we round up. If we round down, it goes down to 360. So what do you think it's going to be? 360 or 370? If you were thinking 360, that was the right one. 360 rounding down because it's a 2 afterwards, and anything under 4, if we look up here, anything under 4 or lower, we round down. Okay, last column, we've got our ones, our tens, hundreds, and our thousands here. Rounding this, again we're still rounding to the nearest 10. Our tens number is the 90, the 9 here in the tens column. Basically what we're saying here is it closer to 2,190. Now you've got to think what comes after that. Well, if we have to go round up the way, it's going to go to 2,200 because the next tens number would take us up to 2,200. And it is going to round up because the number after the tens column is 9, and that means we round up. That's going to go to 2,200. So that's quite a tricky one, but you'll get used to that idea. On to the next set, rounding to the nearest 100. So we've got our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. Okay, here, our nearest 100, we're saying, is it going to be closer to 200 or 300? Well, let's look at the number after the hundreds column. That's the tens. That's a 9. That means we round up. So we're going to go up the way. So if we're saying is it going to be 200 or 300, it's going to go to 300 here. What about this one? This is a bit weird, this one. To the nearest 100, we've got our ones, our tens, and our hundreds. We don't actually have a hundreds column because we've got 0 hundreds. So what we're saying is we're going to round that to 0 hundreds or 100. Now, look at the number in the tens column. I could put a wee 0 in there if it helped, and that would be our hundreds number. The number in the tens column is a 5, and for 5 or higher we round up, which means that that's closer to 100 than 0. So we're going to round that one up to 100. And the last one, our ones, our tens, our hundreds, and our thousands. Again, we're rounding to the nearest 100. Looking at the tens number, we're going to be rounding down. That means we're going to go to 2,900. The next option would be 3,000 if we rounded up again, but we're rounding down here, so it's going to go to 2,900. And the last column is looking at rounding to the nearest thousands. Again, same idea, so we're just going for the thousands column. This time we've got 0 thousands, so here's our ones, our tens, hundreds, and our thousands. So we're going to be choosing, are we going to round to 0 or are we going to round to 1,000? And if you look at the number, it's a 7 afterwards in the hundreds column this time. Here's our thousands. That means we're going to round up to 1,000. Next number, same idea, our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, and then we've got 10,000s here as well, but we don't need to focus on that just now. We are looking at 12,425. Now if we're into the nearest thousand, we're saying, is it closer to 12,000 or is it closer to 13,000? And if we look at a hundreds number, it's a 4, which means we round down. It's going to be closer to 12,000, to the nearest thousands. And the last one, 49,992. That one we're saying, is it closer to 49,000 or 50,000, the one above it, or the 1,000 above it? So 49,000 or 50,000, which one do you think? Is it going to be 49,000 or is it closer to 50,000? Well, it's a 9 afterwards, so it should be rounding up to 50,000. Okay, that's how you round to the nearest 10, 100 or 1,000. It's all about these rules and the top box, and that's the same rules that are going to apply for all your rounding you're going to look at from here on in. Hopefully you found that useful. For other maths and resources, please visit www.highschoolmaths.co.uk. If you liked the video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. Please remember and share the video. Thanks for watching and have a mathemagical day.